Hello everyone. Welcome to Aptitude Made Simple. Today we are going to solve problem on probability of 3 coins. So let's read the problem. If 3 coins are tossed, what is the probability of getting same outcome on all coins? Getting at the most 2 heads. So we have a formula for probability, count of favorable outcomes upon count of all possible outcomes. So first of all, let's try to find out count of all possible outcomes whenever we have 3 coins. How many outcomes will be there total? So whenever we have 1 coin, we know that we get head or tail. So we get two possibilities. Whenever we have 2 coins, we get 4 different possibilities: H, HT, TH, and TT. Whenever 3 coins, it will be difficult one by one to find out all the occurrences. So let's see how we get 2, how we get 4, and then how we can find out this. So whenever it's 1 coin, there are 2 possibilities, head or tail. So 2 to the power 1, that is equal to 2. So that's why we have total 2 possibilities. All possible outcomes as 2 for 1 coin. Whenever we have 2 coins, it's 2 to the power 2. 2 to the power 2 is 4. We get 4 different possibilities. Whenever it's 3 coins, it's 2 to the power 3 is equal to 8. So we get overall 8 possibilities. Now, how do we write this all 8 possibilities and how we can remember this? So that whenever we get any question for 3 coins, we should first write down all those 8 possible outcomes and then we can proceed with solving the problem. So let's remember a trick to write down all the 8 possibilities. So let's just assume this is the first coin, the second coin, and third coin. So now to start from the first coin, just remember like you need to write 4 times H and 4 times T. So H, 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 T, 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 T. So we have overall this eight outcomes, out of which for now we are writing for the first coin. So write down 4H followed by 4T. So let me put here so that we have a reference 4H, 4T. This you can remember for the first coin. That is just sequential H, 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 T, 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 T. Now for the second coin, you write down it like 2H, 2T. So here it start H, H, T, T. H, H, T, T. So in the first coin, we have written 4 head, 4 tail. So that become overall 8, H, 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 T, 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 T. In the second coin, we have written 2H, 2T. So H, H, T, T, H, H, T, T. And on the last coin, we need to write down 1H, 1T. So write down H first, followed by T, H, T, H, T like that. So if you write down it in this way, you will not miss any of the combination out of 8 combination. Otherwise, if you start randomly writing all 8 possible outcome, there's a good possibility that you miss one of the possibility. So if you write down it in sequence, you will never forget these 8 combinations. Yeah. So yeah. So first coin, it's 4H, 4T, H, 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 T, 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 T. Second coin, 2H, 2T, H, H, T, T, H, H, T, T. Third coin, 1H, 1T, H, T, H, T, H, T, H, T. So overall, we have all possible outcomes as 8. So we can write down count of all possible outcomes is 8. Now let's start to solve problem. Getting same outcome on all the coins. So how many are favorable for that? So for that, we need to look at all 8 possible outcomes and then we need to find out what is favorable. Getting same outcome. When we say same outcome, so if first is having H, everything should have H kind of thing. If first is having tail, everything should have tail kind of thing. So if we look at this first one, H, this satisfies our criteria. HHT, does this satisfy? No. One is T and two are H. So that is not matching for all of them. This also not matching. This also not matching. THH also not matching all three outcomes. TST, all three outcomes are not same. TTH, all three outcomes are not same. TTT, yeah, this is also one of the outcome which is favorable to us because TTT, all possible outcomes are same. So out of this eight, we can say this HHH and TTT. So these are the two possible outcomes which are favorable to us. So we can just mention that favorable outcome is HHH, TTT. So count of favorable outcome is 2. And we know that all possible count of all possible outcomes is 8 because we have 3 coins. So 2 to the power 3 is 8. So it is 8 all possible outcome. Now, if we go for probability for getting same outcome on all coin, 2 are favorable, 8 are all possible outcomes. So 2 upon 8 will be the probability for same. So we know 2 1s are 2, 2 4s are 8. So our answer will be 1 by 4. Getting same outcomes on all coins, the probability is 1 by 4. Now let's try to solve the second part of the problem. Getting at the most 2 heads. So first of all, before solving the problem, let's try to understand at most word meaning. So let's say someone is giving you a gift as some money or something. Someone is giving you gift and you say that give me at the most 20 rupees. So all possible what he can give you, he don't give you anything. So he give you 0 rupees, let's say. So that is still favorable because you are saying at the most 20. So if that person gives you 1 rupee, that is also fine because you are saying at the most 20. So anything from 0, 1, 2 till 20, if he gives anything, that is favorable for you. You said that at most 20 rupees I will you can give me as a gift. So if someone gives you 21, that doesn't become favorable because you have already made the condition at the most 20 rupees you can give me as a gift. So if someone is giving 21, that we cannot count. So at the most means from 0 to basically anything less than or equal to that number. Less than or equal to given number. Yeah. So here we are talking about at the most 2 heads. So when you say at the most 2 heads, so 0 heads is favorable, 1 heads is favorable, and 2 heads is favorable. So if there is come like 3 heads, we cannot consider this because it is crossing our criteria. At the most 2 heads is our criteria. So 0 heads is favorable, 1 heads is favorable, 2 heads is favorable. So now let's look at all possible outcomes in the 8, all these 8 possible outcome and see which is favorable for our condition. At the most 2 heads. So HHH. We have 3 heads here and we want at the most 2 head. We cannot consider this as a valid because there are 3 heads. HHT, here we have 2 heads. This is favorable for us because at the most and it is having 2 heads. 0 head, 1 head, 2 head. That is favorable for us. Here again it's 2 head. It's favorable for us. HTT, here it's 1 head and at the most is 2. So 1 is less than 2. So this is also favorable. THH, again 2 heads we have, at the most 2, that is favorable. TST, 1 head, that is again favorable because it's less than 2. TTH, we have 1 head only, which is favorable because less than 2. At the most 2 heads we are looking for. And TTT, here we have 0 head. 0 head is also favorable because we are looking at the most 2 heads. So 0 head, 1 head, 2 head, all these things are favorable for us. So if you look at this, all this combination except HHH, all these combinations are favorable for our event. So total we have 8 possible outcome out of which is favorable except this one, everything is favorable. So that becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. we have 7 favorable outcomes. And we know that count of all possible outcomes is 8. So our probability will become favorable upon all possible outcomes. That is nothing but favorable is 7. All possible outcomes is 8. So our answer is 7 upon 8. For getting the probability, for getting at the most 2 heads, that is 7 by 8. Thank you.